This is why you need to understand the Black consciousness movement. I don't think people understand the true essence of Black consciousness. Black consciousness is more than just a phrase, it's a call to action, rooted in the historical struggle for civil rights. It's about understanding the shared experiences of Black people. It's about recognizing the systems designed to oppress. And most importantly, it's about dismantling those systems from the inside out. Black consciousness is the journey of a people reclaiming their narrative. It is the process of unlearning years of imposed inferiority and embracing the beauty, strength, and resilience within. Imagine a world where being Black isn't a disadvantage, where the color of your skin doesn't determine your opportunities. That's the world Black consciousness envisions. This movement isn't about excluding others. It's about Black people finally having a seat at the table they built. It's about writing their own stories, defining their own destinies. Black consciousness is a journey of self-love and liberation. It encourages Black people to embrace their history, culture, and identity. It calls for unity, self-determination, and a refusal to be defined by the oppressor. This journey is not always easy. It requires confronting uncomfortable truths and challenging deeply ingrained societal norms, but the rewards are immeasurable. Black consciousness offers a path to healing, empowerment, and a brighter future for generations to come. It's about time we all listened. If you found this insightful, please subscribe to our channel for more content on Black consciousness and other important topics. To understand the Black consciousness movement, we must first grasp the harsh realities of apartheid South Africa in the 1960s. This oppressive regime enforced racial segregation and inequality through a series of draconian laws. The apartheid system created a society where Black South Africans were denied basic human rights. Education, healthcare, and even living spaces were segregated, with Black communities receiving the worst of everything. No conversation about Black consciousness is complete without mentioning Steve Biko. His name is synonymous with the struggle for freedom and equality in South Africa. This young South African activist became the voice of a generation yearning for freedom. His eloquence and passion ignited a movement that would forever change the course of history. Alongside Biko were other significant leaders of the Black consciousness movement, each contributing uniquely to the cause. Their collective efforts laid the foundation for a powerful resistance. Biko, through his powerful words and unwavering conviction, breathed life into the Black consciousness movement. He articulated the pain and aspirations of millions, giving them a platform to express their desire for dignity and respect. He dared to challenge the very foundations of apartheid. His courage in the face of such a brutal regime was nothing short of extraordinary. He reminded the world that Black people are not defined by the color of their skin, but by the richness of their heritage and the strength of their spirit. Biko's message was a clarion call to embrace one's identity with pride. Biko understood the insidious nature of apartheid. He saw beyond the obvious signs of segregation and recognized the psychological warfare being waged against Black South Africans. He recognized that its cruelty ran deeper than just separate restrooms and segregated schools. It was a system designed to dehumanize and demoralize an entire race. It sought to break the spirit of Black South Africans, to make them believe in their own inferiority. The apartheid regime's ultimate goal was to strip away their sense of self-worth. Biko, however, offered an antidote to this poison. He spoke of empowerment and self-reliance, urging Black South Africans to reclaim their identity and their destiny. He spoke of Black pride, Black self-love, and the need for Black people to define themselves on their own terms. His words were a beacon of hope in a time of darkness. His message resonated deeply with young Black South Africans who found in his words a sense of hope and purpose. They were inspired to take action, to stand up against oppression, and to fight for their rights. Biko's activism extended beyond powerful speeches. He founded student organizations, established health clinics, and created spaces where Black South Africans could come together and support one another, and tirelessly worked to uplift Black communities. His efforts were aimed at building a strong, self-sufficient community that could withstand the pressures of apartheid. He understood that true liberation required more than just political freedom. It demanded economic empowerment, social justice, and a fundamental shift in consciousness. Biko's vision was holistic, encompassing all aspects of life. Tragically, Biko's life was cut short by the brutal apartheid regime. His death was a devastating blow to the movement, but it also galvanized many to continue the fight. Yet his legacy continues to inspire generations of activists and changemakers around the world. His teachings have transcended time and geography, influencing movements for justice and equality globally. His message of Black consciousness remains as relevant and urgent as ever, reminding us that the fight for equality and justice requires unwavering courage, unwavering conviction, and an unshakable belief in the power of the human spirit. Biko's life and work serve as a testament to the enduring power of truth and the unyielding quest for freedom. To truly understand Black consciousness, we must journey back to the 1960s South Africa. This was a time when the country was deeply entrenched in the oppressive system of apartheid, a regime that sought to divide and conquer through racial segregation and discrimination. Picture a nation in the suffocating grip of apartheid. The government enforced strict racial laws that dictated where people could live, work, and even whom they could marry. The daily lives of Black South Africans were marked by constant surveillance and control, the air thick with tension, the streets alive with the spirit of resistance. Protests and demonstrations became a common sight as people bravely took to the streets to demand their rights and challenge the status quo. This was the crucible in which Black consciousness was forged, a beacon of hope amidst the darkness of oppression. It emerged as a powerful response to the dehumanizing effects of apartheid, offering a new way of thinking and being for Black South Africans. Apartheid, with its brutal segregationist laws, had pushed Black South Africans to the margins of society. Entire communities were uprooted and relocated to impoverished areas, stripped of their dignity and forced to live in substandard conditions. Denied basic human rights, subjected to constant humiliation and violence, their voices silenced, their spirits seemingly broken. The police and military were ever present, ready to crush any sign of dissent with ruthless efficiency. Yet, beneath the surface, a fire of resistance smoldered. In the face of such overwhelming oppression, the human spirit's resilience shone through. People began to organize in secret, finding ways to resist and fight back. It was in this atmosphere of oppression that the seeds of Black consciousness were sown. The movement sought to empower Black South Africans by instilling a sense of pride and self-worth, challenging the internalized racism that apartheid had fostered. Students, frustrated by the limitations imposed on their education and future prospects, became the vanguards of this new movement. They were determined to break free from the shackles of an education system designed to keep them subservient and uneducated. They formed student organizations, held clandestine meetings, and dared to dream of a different South Africa. These gatherings became hotbeds of revolutionary ideas, where young minds could freely discuss and plan for a future free from oppression. These young activists, fueled by a potent blend of anger and hope, yearned for more than just an end to apartheid. They envisioned a society where they could live with dignity, equality, and the freedom to pursue their dreams. They craved a complete transformation of society, one that recognized their humanity and their right to self-determination. This vision extended beyond political freedom. It encompassed economic, social, and cultural liberation as well. It was a movement born not just out of resistance, but out of a profound desire for self-discovery and affirmation. Black consciousness encouraged individuals to embrace their heritage, celebrate their culture, and reject the inferiority complex imposed by apartheid. Black consciousness offered Black South Africans a way to reclaim their narrative, to redefine themselves outside the confines of apartheid's dehumanizing ideology. It was about taking control of their identity and destiny, asserting their place in the world with pride and confidence. It was a call to action, a rallying cry for Black people to recognize their own power, embrace their shared identity, and fight for their rightful place in the world. The movement inspired countless individuals to stand up, speak out, and demand the justice and equality they deserved. Steve Biko, one of the most prominent leaders of the Black consciousness movement, once said, "The most potent weapon in the hands of the oppressor is the mind of the oppressed." This quote encapsulates the essence of Black consciousness, mental liberation. Biko and other leaders emphasized self-reliance, urging Black South Africans to build their own institutions and support systems. They believed that true liberation could only come from within, by rejecting the inferiority complex imposed by apartheid. Imagine a tree growing in harsh conditions. For it to thrive, it must rely on its roots to find nourishment. Similarly, Black consciousness taught that empowerment comes from within by embracing one's identity and heritage. The movement was about more than just resistance. It was about self-pride and empowerment. It encouraged Black people to see themselves as worthy and capable, to stand tall and demand their rightful place in society. Black consciousness was a journey of self-discovery, a path to reclaiming dignity and humanity. It was a powerful force that inspired a generation to rise up and fight for a future where they could live with pride and freedom. The Black consciousness movement didn't emerge in the harsh realities of apartheid and systemic oppression in South Africa. Act 1. The conditions that gave rise to the movement. The struggles and triumphs of liberation movements worldwide, drawing strength from their victories and learning from their setbacks. Think about the civil rights movement in the United States, where leaders like Martin Luther King Jr. and countless others fought tirelessly for the rights of African Americans. The fight against colonialism in Africa, the Caribbean and other regions was all these movements, with their diverse tactics and strategies, with their calls for equality and self-determination, echoed the aspirations of oppressed people. Cries for justice resonated deeply with Black South Africans who saw movements. They saw reflections of their own struggle in the courage of Martin Luther King Jr., whose philosophy of non-violence and civil disobedience offered a powerful model. With his unyielding stance against oppression also struck a chord, and the revolutionary spirit of Patrice Lumumba, who fought for the independence of Congo, inspired many to believe. These global movements provided more than just inspiration. They offered a blueprint for action, a roadmap to navigate their own path to freedom. Act 2. The philosophy and activism of the movement. The strategies and philosophies of these movements found valuable lessons in their successes and failures. They delved into the writings and speeches of these leaders, adapting those lessons to a tailored approach to their struggle. They saw the power of non-violent resistance, understanding that peaceful protests could be a formidable weapon against an oppressive regime. Became integral parts of their strategy, drawing from the playbook of global movements. The importance of building coalitions, uniting diverse groups under a common cause, was another crucial lesson. They recognized the need for a clear vision of the future, a shared goal that could galvanize the masses and sustain the movement. Emphasis on the shared struggles and aspirations of people of African descent. Black consciousness. The idea that Black people, regardless of geographical boundaries, were united by a common history and a common destiny resonated deeply. Of solidarity, a belief that they were part of a larger global struggle, the notion that their fight was not isolated, but part of a worldwide movement against oppression, gave them strength and struggle, fostered a feeling of solidarity, and provided a broader platform for Black South Africans to amplify their voices on the global stage. They reached out to international allies, gaining support and drawing attention to their cause, making it a global issue. Act 3. The legacy of the BCM. The Black consciousness of apartheid South Africa drew strength and inspiration. That the fight for Black liberation was not confined to one country or continent. It was a global struggle against racism, colonialism, and oppression in all its forms. The universal nature of the fight for justice and equality. It was a global struggle against racism, colonialism, and oppression in all its forms. A fight that continues to inspire and guide movements for justice around the world today. If you found this exploration of Black consciousness and global liberation movements, subscribe for more content on these and other Pause 2S, the Black consciousness movement, a beacon of hope and resistance, did not arise spontaneously. Its roots can be traced back to a long history of struggle and resilience among Black South Africans who endured decades of systemic oppression under apartheid. This journey began with the indomitable spirit of leaders like Steve Biko, whose vision and courage ignited a flame of consciousness that would spread across the nation. Pause 2S. Steve Biko, a medical student and activist, emerged as a pivotal figure in the 1960s and 70s. His philosophy of Black consciousness emphasized the importance of psychological liberation, urging Black South Africans to reclaim their identity, dignity, and self-worth. Biko's writings and speeches, filled with powerful rhetoric and unwavering conviction, resonated deeply with the youth, inspiring a generation to stand up against the dehumanizing effects of apartheid. Pause 2S. But the movement was not solely the work of one man. It was a collective effort that drew strength from various sectors of society. Students, workers, and intellectuals came together, united by a common goal: to dismantle the oppressive structures that kept them subjugated. Organizations like the South African Students' Organization, SASO, played a crucial role in mobilizing the youth, using education and awareness as tools of resistance. Pause 2S. As the movement gained momentum, it faced brutal repression from the apartheid regime. The government responded with arrests, bannings, and even killings in an attempt to crush the rising tide of consciousness. Despite these efforts, the spirit of resistance could not be extinguished. The sacrifice of leaders like Biko, who died in police custody in 1977, only served to galvanize the movement further. Pause 2S. The Black consciousness movement was not an isolated phenomenon. It was part of a broader tapestry of global liberation struggles. Drawing inspiration from the civil rights movement in the United States, the anti-colonial movements in Africa, and the revolutionary fervor of leaders like Malcolm X and Patrice Lumumba, Black South Africans found a blueprint for their own fight for freedom. Pause 2S. The geographical spread of the Black consciousness movement across South Africa was a testament to its widespread impact and the shared struggle of Black South Africans. These visual elements, combined with the powerful narrative of their struggle, provide a poignant reminder of the sacrifices made and the victories achieved. The Black consciousness movement, with its emphasis on psychological liberation and collective action, remains a testament to the enduring power of the human spirit in the face of oppression. Pause 2S. Today, the legacy of the Black consciousness movement continues to inspire new generations of activists around the world. Its message of self-determination, unity, and resistance against injustice resonates as strongly as ever, reminding us that the fight for equality and human dignity is a global struggle that transcends borders and generations. Pause 2S. How does Black consciousness influence modern movements? Reflect on its impact and relevance today. For those who want to explore further, here are some recommended books, documentaries, and articles on the subject. Engage critically and think deeply about the role of Black consciousness in global history. Pause 2S. If you're enjoying this content on Black history, please consider supporting us by subscribing to the channel and giving this video a thumbs up. Your support helps us continue sharing important stories from our past and present.